Hi, my name is Tara, and I am here today to talk to you about the meditative art of counted cross stitch. So this is a sample, still trying to get used to this camera here, of some counted cross stitch. This is done on one and it's fairly advanced, so this is not what I'm expecting anyone who is starting out to do. And as you can see, this is the back side of it. And what we have here is a hoop. So one of the reasons why I believe that counted cross stitch is meditative is because you do have to count and you do have to focus. So all the other issues that you have for the day, work, family relationships, whatever they are, it's a way to clear your mind, clear your head, breathe, relax, and get yourself into a better place. You have something that you can see that you're accomplishing. You have something to focus on. You have something to take your mind away. And there is always the counting. Counting does help when you count your breaths, when you count, just to count when you're upset, to get yourself to calm down. It does all of that. So some of you are going, yeah, right. Anytime I do something creative or something artsy or craftsy, it turns out to be a complete disaster, and I'm so frustrated with it that it makes everything worse. Well, to some degree, you're still focusing in on it, and yes, that's true, but what I want to start you off on is to let you know to start as beginning basics as possible. Don't jump into something as complex as this piece right here, okay, because this is going to frustrate you if you've never done it before, because you're counting strands on top of having it already laid out. One of the things I would suggest for a beginner is to go and find some kits. Now I have some advanced kits here. Let me show you some stuff. So there's a couple of different things. One is the kits you'll see will come where it's just the instructions. So for this one, which is a Nora Corbett design, is part of the 12 Days of Christmas. It's, I think, absolutely beautiful, something in the future I want to work on. And this is just a picture of the finished piece, but all it comes with is the instructions. So be prepared for that and be looking for that. When you have this is definitely another more advanced piece by Dimensions. Dimensions have some great options out there. But it's a complete kit. It shows you up here that you've got your different strands. If you look in the back, you can see these are your threads or your floss, and it has some color coding. This also has some beadwork in it, and you have your Aida cloth. I don't know if you can see it like right up here. So in your instructions, and it will tell you on here, usually on these, what it will come with. It tells you who the designer is. This is called the Fall Fairy by Ruth Sanderson. It's counted cross stitch. I highly recommend that you go with counted cross stitch and not stamped counted cross stitch, because sometimes the stamped designs get off and it can be a little more frustrating and a little bit easier. And again, you're going back to the counting, which helps you find peace, breathe, get yourself into that good place. So it tells you the size, some half cross stitches used and designed for artistic effect, contains pre-sorted cotton thread, 16 count dove gray cotton Aida, beads, needles, and instructions. So you still need things like a hoop, your scissors, masking tape is good. There's a couple of different alternatives to that, and I'll show you a few tips on that. Aida is a type of cloth, and let's see if I can get you a close-up in this one. If you can look, you can kind of see that it's got little squares, almost like a grid pattern. And that's those little dots, there's little holes in between the grids, and that's where your needle goes to make the cross, the X that's a cross stitch. So I find that the counted is just something it's a little bit easier to work with, a little bit more consistent, and you can, you get off on some of your counting, or if you miscount a square or something, it's easy to get back in. Where the stamped, you may not be exactly sure where you're at, because of the design and then the instructions. So to me, I just find it just the plain counted, not stamped, a little bit easier. This is more holiday kit. It's a little bit more fun. This is by Plaid Busilla. And I don't know if you can see, but it's different Christmas stockings. So these are like little things that you can put onto gifts and stuff. And you can be doing this all year round. That's the good part about it. Is, you know, don't force yourself to be like a week before Christmas and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. No, just do this. Find a cute kit, pick it up, get it started. And this one's got, you know, the thread with it as well. The thing about this one is you do have to cut out these shapes. They're not pre-cut out, so they're still a little bit more complicated. The patterns themselves are fairly easy. So I'm going to show you the scary thing about this, if you're a first timer, is going to be that there are so many patterns on it. So that's why go for easy, 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 big Aida cloth. The thing with Aida cloth is the smaller the number, the bigger and easier. So 16 is in between. You really want probably like an 11 or a 12. And what it is it's the number of squares in like a square inch type deal. So when you get into the linen, like that first one that I showed you at the beginning of this, you're looking at a 23 count or something along that lines, 22, 23 in a little area, and it's just like a strand of thread that's just crisscrossing. So it's a really, really, really tiny little thing, which is why it gives it more detailed to more complex design. Okay, so this is kind of what some patterns look like. So this right here is your legend for the shapes, and tells you what color of thread to use, how many threads. If there's anything different with it, it'll kind of tell you some stuff with it. So this is your color and symbol guide. And then here's going to be like a pattern. And this is just a partial one right here. Here's a fuller one. So, and if you look, it's got these little lines on it and kind of telling you what it is it's giving you the number of squares, it's giving you the markers that will lead to your center. And so when you're just doing a single one where it's cut out, if you do your center, then that'll give you an idea to count and then how to count back. So each one of those squares is typically like a 10 by 10. Sometimes you'll see like an 8 by 8, but they're usually pretty consistent with that. And so that's what you're going to be starting with. So I don't want you to be intimidated by that. The first thing I want you to do is go out and find yourself a fun and cute kit that you want to do that's basic. Go to any arts and crafts stores that carries it, some of the larger ones, some of the fabric stores, even a few of the like chain stores will have some of these kits. So that's where I'm going to start with you today, and keep in touch and I'll start showing you the basics. Have a great day.